everyone, it is Melissa and it is just a few minutes shy of 8 o'clock because I am still not sure how to put the orientation so this works for your TVs, your computers, your mobile devices. So let me know if somehow I need to magically flip this or I am in the correct orientation. Tonight, it is 8 o'clock here in Florida. We will be folding tissue papers. Oh, and I forgot to, hey Barry Dean,
Yes.
will you bring me a scissor?
Yes.
Thanks. We shall open this with the scissor because I could do this with my teeth, but this plastic came from Italy. Thank you, sweetheart. And it is a very plasticky plastic. So these came in over the last few days from Paper Mart. I have the 26 tissue paper prints. I could not find them hardly anywhere, and I have been looking because I got a notification that the black marble was about to sell out, and I didn't even know that it was in stock. So like it went in stock, and then hours later, hello Lynn, hello KB, hello Pam. I am doing well. I had meant to do this yesterday. I don't know what happened yesterday. Yesterday escaped me. So we will be doing the black and gold and gray. We will also be doing, these are all of the new tissue papers. Now some of them, like this one, you might have seen before, but because it has the dark black background, any dark backgrounds, they seem to be getting rid of. I'm guessing they're more expensive to print the black and then the colors on top of it. So I wanted to make sure I had enough. And by enough, I don't know if you'll be able to see these cabinets, all of them have a lot of tissue paper in them. So we will be doing that one. Also, this was the cover print for the 2026 catalog. And it's opened because my mom Lavender Clothesline, asked if I would be willing to sell her some tissue paper. She wanted to pay retail cost. I just gave her my cost. It's ridiculous. She's my mom. She birthed me for like 32 hours. She gets a discount. So I forget what this one is called. This one is Painterly Petals. And that's what this one looks like. It does have some gold in it. Good morning, Sue. Sue is on a completely different time zone than us, on a completely different continent than us. So Sue, what time is it now? 8. So you are 4 a.m.? Nope. 2 a.m.? Are you at 2 a.m.? This one, which I blasted in my last video, it took me all of the screen editing. And I was like, I'm going to buy this one because it has bees and my name means bees. And we shall see truly how bad it is in person. It is called Garden Bees. Do you normally set this late? I don't really have any kind of schedule of sleeping or not. Yesterday I slept most of the day. Today I slept on and off. Today I'm awake. So There's really, because I work for myself and I help my mom and Bear, and I'm just helpful. I have very few hours that need to be like set hours, and not that that's the case all the time, but if I'm sleeping in the middle of the day and I didn't sleep the past night, I will just sleep. So you'll probably see me mostly go live in the evenings or just overnight. So this is the one that I was like, not sure. 11. Oh, I wasn't even close. Was I close? 8. Okay, so I was guessing like 6 hours ahead of time, but you're actually 5. But daylight saving is coming up here in Florida. Not every state celebrates, and I think that's like next week or something, or the following week. This one is called Gilded Geo, and you will quickly realize that I did not buy any on white backgrounds. The exception is the brand new print, which is like, it says an ivory background, but I really think it's a pale pink background. That to me, it might look ivory in the thing, but pretty, except a couple of them I'm about to show you. These are the Everyday Catalog 2026. And they upped the price. Of course they did, because tariffs exist. This one is really pretty in person. It's got a lot of gold. The diamonds are black. They might look brown in camera, but they are black. Just because of all of the gold. That one is really pretty. Then we have 2 more, 3 more, 2 more. And you've probably seen the last one. This one is called Fresh Floral, and it has a black background. I have so many light colored backgrounds, and they do a lot of the light. Again, I'm just assuming it's cheaper to start with a white tissue paper. But all of the tissue papers from Jilson Roberts, depending on who you get them, some of them are like $95 at this point. I think I paid $86, but then I had some kind of discount. This one's gorgeous. I do too, KB. This one has like greens and yellows, and the reds are not reds. They're more of a pink with like a red and gold outline. And almost all of these have the gold or silver metallic. And then the Marbleized Magic, which is just blue, I got again. This is my mom's favorite. I thought about getting the mint as well, but I like the blue so much more. The mint doesn't have this like royally blue color, it has more greens, and the gold is so pretty. So those were the ones that I ordered, and they came to a gajillion dollars. I don't know, it was like between $5.25 and $5.60. And I ordered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that was with taxes. So they're coming from Italy. They are made in Italy, but you cannot buy them from Jilson Roberts. So depending on where you get them, Amazon won't charge tariffs, but none of them were on Amazon. And I really, really, really wanted the purple one with like the hands and the beetles. And that was not to be. I could not find that one anywhere. I also grabbed some from the last year's. Not all, because I didn't grab the Christmas, and I have quite a bit of Christmas. So these are the ones I currently have in stock. If you order a mystery bundle of like 50 pieces, I think it's between like $34 and $36 shipped. And if you grab a mystery bundle, and they're in packs of 5, so like if you order 50, you'll get, 5 of every, you'll get 10 prints is what I'm trying to say. And if you get 100, I don't know that I'll have that many prints, but I will try. I should at this point. Okay, so this one is the tapestry, I think they call this, and I have quite a few of this left. I really liked it. I liked the blue and the golds. Then I have cats. I have almost no cats back. My mom's like, can you take the cats back? I like the cats so much. Donna. Hi, Donna. Oh, Sue is Donna. I'll have to remember that. You're both generous. Thanks. The butterflies. I have a few butterflies left. Did they do butterflies? Then I picked up, these belong in my autumn prints. I don't know how they got into these prints. Then I have these, which have strawberries and butterflies, and I think these have, one of these has little ladybugs. It might be, nope, it's this one. Let's see. The little ladybug is right there next to the butterfly, so tiny. And this does have a white base. Then I have more of the blue. Then I have this one, which is hard to know if it's inside out or not. Because both, I think it is inside out. I think my husband, but you can't complain here. I'm not complaining. He folded some of these inside out, and this one is a hard one. This one is Baby Quilt, which they discontinued this year. Now they only discontinued it in the tissue paper. Your mom secretly loves cats. She had Christmas. She called me the other night and she's like, I know you're dropping off some stuff. I have Christmas and I have cats. And she's like, do you want the cats back? And I was like, yes, please, because they've discontinued all pets, it seems like. This is the silver metallic. Now you can kind of see, like this gold is so gold, and same with the black. The silver is a little bit more muted. It does have the gold and the silver metallic, and it has a white background, where this one doesn't really have. It has white, but this is like more on top of. You can see it's on top of this isn't like a separate page. They layered it on top of. This one is definitely more muted, still pretty. Did I show you this one? I showed you this one. I pulled 2 of those. This one has the gold slices, and it's just a really pretty color, especially when you put it on the large scale. But even if you put it on a really tiny box, you can really get, like, even if you put it on a box this big, you really get it. Where some of these, okay, none of those. Some of these, if you put it on a small scale, you'll miss the print. This they discontinued, and it's feathers. It is a white background, but I loved the feathers. I still have a good many of these left. They're so pretty. The color story, it is white, like I said, but the gold is just so gold. Then the one I thought I would not enjoy, and I've ordered it twice. That gold is so good. Birds, they've discontinued. It does not have any fun metallics, but still sweet. This one doesn't have any metallics either, and I will order this until they discontinued it. It is a floral collage. there's no white background, there's no white showing through, but it is pretty, pretty, pretty. This is half a sheet. Love that one. One of my all-time favorites. This one is called Bloomin', and they have discontinued it. Love the colors. There's no tomato red. This one has a pearlescent background. Now, pearlescent backgrounds are so hard. Maybe in this light, like this white part is not white. It's more of like a really sparkly, I don't know, pearlescent. And I like the color story. This one was a big letdown. This was the catalog print of 2025. And the catalog made it seem like the pinks were just like different shades and poppy, and it's just a completely matte paper. Still pretty, but Karen, I am divorced and in my, what did you say, KB? I was watching one of your very early videos and it talked about divorce and moving on. That is my mom. My name is Melissa. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, sis. I like the Bloomin' one. I did too. Hey, Mom. Then I didn't order this again. It is elephants. It is sweet. It has a pale yellow background, which is unusual. The gold is silver and this is the silver and gold. And the baby elephants. Oh, I love elephants. I do. I still use this, especially for, I don't know, I just love this one. I liked the gold. This one, you've seen, my husband folded it. And then this one they just continued with, which was a shame because I really liked the colors. They were unusual. And it has that like splashy thing, but with the gold. The background is vaguely white, but mostly like a peachy color. It does look white. It's not pearlescent though. So those are the ones I currently have. I might have a few more, and I've got a ton of Christmas. So if you go on the Blooming Clothing website, which I'll have linked in the notes description, you'll be getting some of those. I also sell polymailers. These are just the small polymailers. Not very exciting. I mean, the prints are fun, but like you can't fit too much in here. See what I mean? So unless you're selling like a little bikini top or something, jewelry fits really well in these. And I use all sorts of, I buy the best, some of the best. I try for, this is graceful mailers, graceful mailers. This one I don't know, probably Amazon. This one is design mailers from You Pack and Ship. You Pack and Ship has been around probably one of the longest, and this one again is probably just Amazon. I won't go through all of the poly mailers, but I probably have 50 different prints. So if you order these, you'll be getting a very good supply. I try not to order the really, really thin ones. I'll show you a really thin one. This one is specifically thick. Pretty Package Store. These are expensive. These are like $30 for 100, except they had a glitch on TikTok a gajillion years ago, and I should have bought them out. This is Happy Pack. This is also a really, really strong one. Then we have some Julie Story Graceful Mailers. And I love the Volkswagens. Panthers, the green. Pretty Pack is a really, not as good, but still pretty good. This one feels really nice. Pretty Pack. See, this one's definitely a lot stronger. Graceful Mailers, I think I've seen those. This is Graceful Mailers again. This one is not as printed, but sometimes I like that because with the tissue paper, like this would match any of the blues and greens, which, you know, this one, you're gonna be like, what in the world is that gonna match? But they do, and you don't have to match them. So says the girl who tries to match them. This usually I have in like a September, October package, sunflowers. This one says you are beautiful, bold, you are brave, beautiful, and bold. Another graceful mailers, and then I put the artist, which is Roxanne Stewart. Love that so much. Hi everyone. The green with my leaves is my favorite. Is it really? I've had this one for a long time. This has been, is this you pack and ship? It is. They've been, I want to say like 20 years they've been in the game. Corey is the owner. I love all of the mailers. I deliver mail for now and rarely see pretty mailers. My mail carrier retired, I don't know, like a year or two ago. And I have a new mail carrier who identifies as a man. And he has even written me, this one's Graceful Mailers, in Camilla prints. So that must be the artist. And he's written how fun it is. Love this one, just because my name means bee. And this is Happy Pack. This is a strong one. Another really good one. This is like oysters and pearls and pinks, and love the colors. I don't know if they're gonna come off. It's very pastel. I liked it so much I took two. Okay, dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, it won't tear, but like you can kind of see it is not very good. Okay, I could probably put my finger through this one pretty easily. That one will now go on the ground. But I did like the dinosaurs. Strawberries, I think we've seen in the smaller ones. The cowboys or cowgirls, smiley faces with cow hats. The disco balls, very fun, very pink and orange based. Then we have some butterflies on a white background. And again, Graceful Mailers by Amanda Grace Designs. So they put the artist, which I love. Then I've started ordering Easter. So we have some colorful peeps. How fun with that. Right, the beachy one is so good. The beachy one would have been so good with, we used to have tissue paper with shells. That would have been so nice together. We did that one. Then we have like French fries wrapped up in heart tissue paper, some kind of cardboard paper. And again, this is Graceful Mailers. I have somebody, if you are that somebody who tells me when Graceful Mailers sometimes goes on 50% off, this one is one of my newer ones and it doesn't have a name. And I'm gonna guess that it's gonna match some of the darker, like those geos and blacks. This one's really, really pretty. I hope you saw above where I clarified that I know you are Melissa, your mom is on the chat. Oh yes, sorry. I was like, I'm Melissa, not Karen. And then my mom was like, I'm here. And I was like, oh yeah, no, clearly she knows. Sorry about that. This is Graceful Mailers, and they are done by Leah and Luna Studio. Really love that they're putting the artist name blues. And again, this one could match so many of the blueprints. And I like them so much. I got another one. Here's another Graceful Mailers, like a sagey, olive sagey green with white. Then we have some big ones. Now that is not all of the ones I have. This is Pretty Package Store. They screwed up on TikTok, the cool one, yeah, on TikTok. The black one is really good. The blue one is awesome. Isn't that really pretty? The colors on this, somebody nailed these colors. They wanted, when this company, Pretty Package Store, which I get ads for, like as I'm scrolling TikTok, like every, I'm gonna say 100, but it feels like every 10 ads is this store because I've ordered from them. They meant to put the very small ones, which are somewhere, you know, the small ones, for like 20 or 25 for like $7.99. Except accidentally overnight, I've told the story, they put all of them. So I got 100 of these, which is like a 19 by 14 maybe, in a 100 pack for $7.99 with free shipping. And I kept going back in overnight. I would like wake up and be like, I should get a couple more. And then I thought, I'm just gonna get a gajillion more, and if they need to cancel my order, they will. But sure enough, I have run out of some of them, and I wish I would have ordered more. All of my money is now going to Polymolive. So there's the like aqua fun one. Here's another one. All of these are probably that company. This is leopards on like a tangerine kind of background. Bows. These are orange and pink. Then we have bows, same company, same $7.99 glitch on TikTok. In the pinks, I've shown you that one. Here's another one from them. Pink on pink. I'm guessing the more ink colors you use, the more expensive it is. So a lot of companies just stick to a couple. This one is you pack and ship. Out of everybody, for the price, I would probably, and the longevity, recommend you pack and ship, or me, but you pack and ship is cheaper. This is a 12 by 15, so like somewhere in between the two. They do make them bigger than this. They make them at 18 by, so what did I say, this was like a 14 by 19. And this one is a 12 by 15. So you can kind of see the difference. And this one, like I said, is you pack and ship. This is another you pack and ship, pink swirls. It is a little bit thinner, but you're probably not gonna be able to stick your finger through it as easily as dinosaurs. Another you pack and ship, kind of rainbow-esque. Another you pack and ship, tie-dye with the butterflies. They've had this one for at least 10 years. Now we are back to the larger ones, the glitch ones on TikTok that were $7.99. Love this one. Another one from the TikTok glitch. This one has flowers and like, it looks like almost like a watercolor finger paint. And I like the colors in this one. It's definitely got the pinks. Almost all of them have the pinks. If you came on or posted a weekly or bi-weekly video and sat and drank your water, we would enjoy it so much. I have been doing that for the last, I want to say 3 months now, which means there's probably only 3 to 4 videos. Hello from the, oh, cruise to Tahiti. Oh, fun. Thanks, Moonbeam. It is fun to go on live. And that way I don't have to edit, and the lives go like somewhere else on my YouTube. They don't show up always in my, like, I don't know, contents, my directory. You have to click on live, but they are there. But going live for me means 1, I feel pretty good. 2, I can work around things, you know, in life. And 3, there's no editing, which is lovely. This one is the smiley face. Same TikTok glitch. Put that one aside. These are really well made, these pretty package ones. Would I pay, I think they're like $40 for 100? No, probably not. Then we have the butterflies, same company. The hearts with the scallops, same company. White with pastels. The dogs, I think I've seen. Did I show you the dogs? Yeah, they're not upside down. And then I have these in white and black, and I could not tell you where I got these. I'm assuming Amazon. And they have the handles, which I wish all of them had the handles, because when you're carrying, like, you know, coats in these, they're all slip slidey. The materials is like slip slidey vinyl, but when you can carry them, and they will hold up. This one just says thank you on both sides, and I have this in the black too. So those are some, oh, here's the tiny ones. Those are some of the ones I have. I no longer keep the giant ones just because I don't use them as much. But I would like to get my hands on at least one pack of the big ones. Maybe I'll do that later today. So these are the 3 sizes that I mostly showed. These are 6 by 9s, these are 12 by 13s, 10 by 13s. I think these are 14 by 19s. So you could definitely fit in like jeans if you fold them the right way and they're not like more than a size 14, 16 women's jeans. These you can fit quite a bit in. And some of them, did I bring any of them, have gussets on the bottom. I don't know if I brought any with the gussets. The gussets give it that 3D, like, you can sit it down effect. I don't think I have any with the gussets. So these are all just truly flat mailers. The gussets give it like a 4 or 5 inch sink like purse that sits on feet. So the first thing we are going to do, is Meryl, who, if you watch my mom, sent us both packages. You do not ever have to send me anything. I have plenty of things, as you can see. No, I have plenty of things, truly. What are you eating these days? I am 46. I had to go off of hormones since November. So November, December, January, February, into February, because I needed to get a count of like estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, all of the things. Because about a year and a few months ago, I went through a full hysterectomy, including cervix, uterus, of course, ovaries, my gallbladder had already been taken out, my appendix, hundreds of, this is not what you're asking, but I am getting there, I promise, hundreds of matted adhesions, cysts. It was a lot worse than they thought, fibroids, and I was upchucking every month, and I would just go sit at the doctor's even if he didn't have an appointment for me, and just upchuck, and I'd be close to passing out from pain, and I'd be begging him to do something. We had already scraped my uterus because I have endometriosis, which is now growing, yay me, up into my rib cage. Endometriosis can grow in your brain, it can grow in your bones, it can grow anywhere you have body. So good luck with that. So what I'm eating now at the age of 46, I just turned, I decreased my ramen noodles. I'll eat ramen noodles if I am very hungry, which doesn't happen often. I am eating chicken. I am also trying to do a low histamine diet because when I crave spinach and I was eating raw spinach, I would get hives all down and up everything and become so itchy. So I could do couscous, potatoes, but nothing on them. I'm allergic to milk casein. I say allergic, it's not going to kill me. It'll just want to make me dead. I'll be in the toilet. And currently, because it was my birthday, we got pizza. And I knew that cheese would kill me, so I took some of it off, but I am breaking out in several places that you can see. So I can eat berries, like when I went to my sister's, and for my mom, for my birthday, in addition to many other things, bought me blackberries, and my sister brought me berries. Berries are just so expensive, and I would eat berries like, if I could have one food, it'd be with berries. Probably blackberries. Blackberries are like, you can eat them. Blueberries, I feel like you need a spoon. Strawberries, the whole cutting thing. I'm a lazy person when it comes to food. So chicken, berries. Oh, I have like pretend fig Newtons. They are allergen free for most common allergies. They don't have milk, they don't have wheat, they have dates, and then they add in a little bit of like a fruit juice, and it's usually strawberry or blueberry that I order. So those are like my packable thing. I can eat those in bed without too many like crumbs worried about. I can take those on the road with me. So like I need a hot food with protein. I need something that when I'm starving, and I need a packable food. Those are my three. I can do potato chips. My joints don't love the sodium, but all of my blood works past my hormones say I'm doing okay. And I do take a lot of supplements. Usually they're gummy supplements. Don't judge me. I will not have a smoothie. I just know myself. I would buy all of the fruit and they just sit and spoil. So that's currently what I'm eating. Strawberries, the whole cutting thing, right? You're like, okay, I'm washing the strawberries, I'm putting on a plate, then I need a separate plate, and then I'm cutting them, but like I don't want to cut too much off because I'm paying by weight. So like in theory, every millimeter you cut off is like a few pennies you're throwing away. So I'm like trying to like carve them so I don't have to eat the stems. And then I need a plate for the stems, and then I wash them again. And oh, third, you get it. Berries are so good and so good for you. Chicken berries, awesome. Yes, highly agree. Fig Newtons are yummy. They are yummy. The fig Newtons I have aren't called fig Newtons. I wish I could tell you what they're. Message me. They sell them on Amazon. They deliver them. If you buy strawberries at organic and eat the whole thing, I think that might be good for you to get the stem. I will have to Google that because I'm not opposed to that. I don't hate the stem. It's just, I thought you weren't supposed to be eating it. I don't know why. I probably made that up. Melissa, you're an interesting lady. There is a really good chance. I have been diagnosed, of course, with CRPS a gajillion years ago, which is a nervous system order. I have been diagnosed with, name it, endometriosis, POTS, all sorts of, gastro things, nothing serious that has a name. And I have been diagnosed with two other things that I have not necessarily come right out because you could probably guess what they are from what I eat and the fact that I don't like certain sounds and textures and things. I'm very sensitive in that way. And I do have an official diagnosis for that, but it's not necessarily going to change anything, nor the way I live my life, nor the foods I eat or medicine I take. So, oh my goodness, my youngest, we think she has POTS. How did they find it? So the easiest way that I thought I had POTS was to put a pulse ox and a blood cuff monitor and then lay down and stand up, and if your heart rate tanks or rises, that's probably indicative. If you have salt and it feels better, a little bit more of an indication. They probably want to do a tilt table test, which I did not want to do because this was all during my upchucking phase, and I had doctors who did not do such a great job with me. So POTS, you probably need a diagnosis for that. If she feels like she's better laying down, and if she stands up and her heart rate is peaking, and when she's laying down, I mean, it's really jumping. I've jumped from like 70 something to 160, 170 something, just like by standing up, not running marathons. And salt helps. I'm not a medical professional. You'll probably have to go see a doctor, unfortunately. I watch a lot from bed, yes. Oh, I have been tested for lupus. As House would say, if you watch Dr. House, it's most likely not lupus. I did not have lupus. But Ren, R-E-N, who is an amazing artist, singer, rapper, guitar player, director, Ren, R-E-N, has lupus, and I would recommend some of, I don't know what pronouns he uses. I just said he. I think he goes by he. He has lupus. And then the one with the SJ, I was also tested for. I have POTS and been healed. Lick a little salt on the back of my hand every morning. Yeah, fills up. Yes. They want to send her to a juvenile warm. I am at the point of my life where, like, I need potentially two kinds of glasses. Rheumatologist, wear new pets are closed. Very hard to get appointment. You don't say. That I know. This is from, oh gosh, M, 5-letter word. I'm in menopause. There's a J in it, I think. Oh, well, it probably says it in it. Sweet Melissa. I'm going to open this. We had to take my husband to Mayo, and Mayo even was like, he probably doesn't have this. And then sure enough, he had that. So yeah, and that took his current doctor, who we see, current doctor, he's got 4 quadrillion doctors, he's got mouths, took about a year and a half to get into, because specialists are very hard to find. So what I would say to you is put her on the list, get it on the books, and then if they have a cancellation list, or if they don't, call back every probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Mondays they're busy, Fridays they're looking forward to the weekend, and just keep not pestering, be nice about it, but see if there's any cancellations to get into the rheumatologist, because doctors, and this could have always been the way, are slammed. Meryl, thank you. There's no J in Meryl, there was a Y. Oh no, blank shelves behind you, please tell me you're not moving. Not moving. I just happened, in October, the worst month in a while, we went to Pennsylvania and we had our bathroom floors done, and I told them to line up the floors, that if we ever decide to do the rest of the floors, that they would all go the same way. Did they do that? One of the ones they listened to, mine, the guest bathroom, Bear and I use different bathrooms because we have 2 bathrooms, they did not. So we did decide in October, very quickly, because they were discontinuing it. It was really hard to get the flooring. So we made the choice to do all of the flooring, and they charged us past the flooring costs, which were like $1 quadrillion. It was like $4 grand. That for pulling up all of the carpet, fixing any plywood, which the plywood did not need fixed, thank goodness. Putting down the flooring throughout the whole house, and we have 2,000 square feet, including the lanai, doing the molding, which is like a thin quarter round. It would cost about $2,000. So I was like, okay, let's do that, because we were sick of having carpet. It was decent carpet, but every time you moved furniture, there were divots, and you'd have to constantly be carpet cleaning and whatever. So we did do that. So with that said, we were like, okay, we're gonna have to move things, and they moved things from room to room. So this room is getting, I don't know what we're doing in this room. If I could Control Z this room, like just make this room go away, which is a good problem to have, I'm not complaining. It's better to have more room than less room, unless you need to clean the room that you're not using. Yeah, I don't know. So I sold a whole bunch of this. I am working with a one of many consigners who sign consignment paper. I am going next week, and he has a gajillion pieces of Heisey crystal. So when we take the boxes into our house and clean them, they do go up on these shelves. So I'm leaving these empty because I know I will be getting in hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of crystal. He's got ridiculous amounts of crystal. Meryl, this is gorgeous. I don't know why I didn't look at this. This is a glassy baby. She brought my mom 2 of these as well. You have to look really closely. It's like frosted in like a diamond kind of pattern. And then there is a candle, which tells me this becomes a candle, which I love, 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 love. And it says, a light of hope, glassy baby. Recycled paper. It began with the hope 3-time cancer survivor Lee Rhodes found peace in the flickering light of the colored glass candle holder. When she recovered, Lee started Glassy Baby to help heal the cancer patient community that had supported her. One of our favorite designs, and I agree, it's lovely. This would fit in like almost any decor. It is heavy too. You could really put that almost anywhere. It's so pretty. It almost has like a purpley blue up here. Might be my shirt, honestly, though. And the candle. Our favorite description of Glassy Baby was originally written by Lee's son, which was cancer survivor Lee Rhodes. Maricos, when he was 12 years old, as a Christmas present for his mom. A glassy baby is a small candle holder made from colored glass, but the light of a candle coming through a glassy baby makes it something more. It gives a warmth on a cold day, a calm token of peace. And then it goes on saying it's a multi-layer process. They use colored rods to produce a mix of opaque, translucent, and transparent glass. It is strong and beautiful. It comes in multiple colors. It is humble in spirit and not in beauty. Maricos Rhodes. So this is gorgeous. And we are going to put this, ready for this? Can you see that? I think you can see that. Thank you so much, Meryl. My mom, I mean, look at this box. Look how pretty this box is. So pretty. Somebody is getting that box. Somebody who buys something this size. Go to my eBay store and buy something that size. Oh, and we have some styrofoam. We shall put that over there. I pulled in like 4 quadrillion tables. So thank you so much, Meryl. Autoimmune stuff is gone. Now to immune stuff, custody battle. I'm not moving. It is beautiful. Love it on the shelf. I will need to find a better spot. So many people have sent so many things, like a dozen things over the last, I started my blog, I really think in 2008. So almost 20 years ago, I've been online, and I'm 46. I don't know that I was online before that, but some of you, a few of you, have been with me from like, I think my blog ended in 2016. And the reason I know that is because the other day, for my birthday, I wanted to take a discovery flight because suddenly I am not afraid of flying. That just happened within the last year. And I think it's because of all the sickness Bear went through and I went through, and I felt like I had to be in control of so much. All of our medicines, all of knowing where the closest hospital was, all of knowing what to do to relieve stress and panic attacks and all of the things all of the time. And a lot of that was on me. Some of it was on him when I was sick. So being up in the air, even as a passenger, there's not much you can control. Now, with that said, could you die? Yes. But are they going to count on me to have, the right instruments to save the plane? Will they be like, does anybody have a hairbrush in teal and 10 birthday candles in a box and we will be saved? No, nobody's going to care. Do I know CPR? Yes, but so do a lot of other people. So that's not necessarily what's going to happen. So suddenly I realized that being on a plane isn't necessarily the safest, but that I wasn't in control, and suddenly something switched to me and I was like, oh, I can read my book, and if something is an emergency, then somebody else who is trained can take care of this because it's not all on me. And suddenly I was like, I wonder if I'd like flying a plane. I do like flying a plane. So I went up about 2 weeks ago. I'm counting to 5, and I forgot to put water here. So I'm just gonna lick my fingers every once in a while, and I know that's gross, and I'm so sorry. If I pause this for any reason, I will go get some water on a plate. So I went up, I toured the facility with my husband, the aviation school, and to get your full, I hate to call it commercial pilot license, but your bachelor's in pilotry, that's clearly not what it's called. It's like $155,000. Hey, thanks. It's my husband. Thank you, sir. He heard me, and now I have water in a plate. You're not gonna be able to see it. I have water in a plate and a rag. So I clearly don't want to do that. I don't want to, be a commercial pilot because I've gone up, once, and I did love it. So the person I went with the discovery flight for, most places have discovery flights, and most places will let you fly a plane for about $300. Groupon, you can get them slightly cheaper. Didn't know that at the time, should have checked that. But I am really glad. They sent me up with a, probably somewhere in their 30s. Her name was Alyssa. And she allowed me to taxi the plane. Flying a plane, so much easier than driving a car. I don't know why I gave this any anxiety. I didn't really, I was mostly excited. So we fueled planes, we went over a few little plane things, but mostly she wanted to get me in the air. So we taxied, and they had all sorts of lines. And I followed the lines, and she's like, you're really good at this. And I'm like, thanks. She probably tells everybody that. Let's just be honest. I could have walked away and somebody else would have been like, you're really good at this. But I did follow the lines, and then she's like, are you ready to try to take off? And I'm like, yeah. So she taught me there's a pull stick and there's a steering wheel, and the steering wheel does not do everything a car steering wheel does. The pull stick kind of accelerates if you pull it out, and then you have to there's a steering wheel, but the top part is missing in the Cessna we went up in. So she let me take off. Okay. And I did rather well, and she said go up to 900 to 1,000 square feet and kind of level it off, and I did that. And she's like, now we're going to follow the Sarasota coast because the aviation center was in Sarasota. And did I take one photo? No, I didn't. I was so focused on everything and just enjoying it. Now, what I should have done, she asked me, do you want a booster, a cushion to get higher? I should have said yes, but she didn't really explain what it would do. And her cushion was this thick. It was 2 inches. So when she sat on it, it almost flattened. I really needed to be up in my mind, at least 3 to 5 inches, because you couldn't really look out unless you were looking to the side and down. And I really wanted to keep that plane between 900 and 1,000 feet up, which I did. So we did that for about a half hour, just followed the coast. It was really pretty. It was a gorgeous day. They probably would have not have let me flown if it wasn't a gorgeous day. We went up from like 9 to 11. But some of that was not flying. So I would say I flew for an hour, and I'm addicted. So I have my pilot little stamp book. She stamped it, and I called yesterday. If you don't know, I have CRPS, which I've 4 quadrillion times. And one of the helps, I hate to say cures because there's no cure, to CRPS is ketamine. I had ketamine after having a gajillion other things, and the cart co-owner really, really impressed me. He knew his stuff. I think his name was Jacob. Could be wrong. And he knew my doctor's son. He's like, oh, I know your doctor's son. And I was like, oh, I love my doctor. I've been seeing my doctor every other month for 12 years. And like, we discuss medical stuff, but then we discuss other stuff like books and just, it runs the gamut, honestly. Just whatever we decide to talk about. I saw him today. And so he's like, I think I know his son. I was like, okay. He's like, there's a new program. It's called Mosaic. You don't really need your doctors to sign off of it, but they do look back 10 years. And if you took ketamine, this feels light. This feels like 4 pieces of paper. This is 4 pieces of paper. We're gonna have to go through a different kind of, it might take longer. So I had a blog, and I looked up a blog, and I am 10 years and 1 month past ketamine, so that will not even matter. And none of the medications I'm taking matter. I haven't had seizures, I don't have high blood pressure, I don't have addictions, past tissue paper, which the FAA is not going to consider an addiction. So they have to do some research. I have to do some research. Like I said, to get your full pilot license is $1 gajillion, and to get a license through the program I'm talking about is still probably $5,000 to $10,000. But knowing me, it'll probably be on the low side, because once I become obsessed with something, I usually learn it fairly quickly and in my own time. So we'll see. I'm waiting to hear back if they could even do the program. Nobody teaches the program there. They knew about the program. So could I, in 5 to 10 years, be teaching the Mosaic program at the Aviation Center? Sure. Do I want to do that? I get bored easy. Hoping to say hello, have family time, so I'll be back. Okay, Grace. Really love your shirt. Thank you. I got it in 2 different colors. If you can't read it, it says, now I'm going to be able to read it. No one is illegal on stolen lands. I got it in this, and I got it in blue with like a white, so it's not as like shocking. Are you going for flying lessons? Yes. Is it that much? Yes. Getting your bachelor to do like commercial, I want to fly UPS, I want to fly Delta, Allegiant, is just as much. You need a bachelor's, and it's just as much as, most other college programs. Your bachelor's in pilotry, that is a real thing. I thought the same thing. I used to be flight attendant married to a pilot. Very cool. I think this is your first time I've caught you on a live. I think I've only done 3 or 4. Oh, I just made it very bright. I know there's a way to do a filter, but we're not playing that game. Am I the right orientation? That was my big question. Hey, Cindy. Addictions past tissue paper. Ramen and Diet Cola. Although today you can't tell, I could be hiding Diet Cola in here. It is water. Can you see? I know several pilots. I went to church with a female pilot who is my age, and I was there. She had the coolest stapler. Her dad made vintage staplers in the vintage time. And she had, I can't even tell you about it. It was like all metal. It was the coolest stapler. Or hole punch. I think it was a stapler. Anyway, doesn't matter. She owned a house and she lived in the basement in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, which is some parts good, some parts bad, but very cheap. She lived in the basement and then she rented out the top because that could give them the money for her to go to pilot school. And I knew her for, I don't know, 20 years. I'm still Facebook friends on her. I don't jump on Facebook that often anymore. But she got her commercial license and she flew for planes domestically and then internationally. And then she was offered a contract with, I want to say UPS. It could have been FedEx though. She was thrilled. She's still doing it. There are a way around those things with flight surgeons help you out. Yeah, waivers. Hi. Hi, Jeanette. Hi. Hi, Kate. Yes. So that was fun. I would have never thought a year ago. Again, this one feels like 2. Am I not counting right? No, this one is correct. So that's what I was doing about 2 weeks ago. My husband has been playing a lot more. He's been feeling better. I think they finally got his meds to a point where he's taking exactly what he needs to be taking and nothing further. He also he's gone for a nighttime sleep study. He wakes himself up 90 times a night just by twitching. I think it's called a Moira, M-O-R-A reflex that sometimes children don't have and they wake themselves up. As you grow older, you're supposed to, get rid of that, grow into that, and you're not really supposed to be waking yourself up every time your brain tells you to. But his didn't develop correctly. I don't really know the full story. So he's waking himself up, just twitching, playing guitar, playing piano in his sleep, 90 times an hour. But he is getting REM sleep and it's not sleep apnea. So for the last few weeks, he's been wearing this clunky plastic watch. It's not that clunky, but neither one of us, neither he nor I wear any kind of jewelry because it's bothersome and we're not jewelry people, even though I sold jewelry for over 1 trillion years. And I wouldn't be opposed to doing it again. So it bothered him, so he loosened it. And I was like, I don't know that you should really be loosening that because, it's supposed to be on a flat part of whatever. So today they called, he dropped it back off. And they're like, you're gonna have to do this again. Poor guy. And I'm like, make sure they tell you, because I wasn't there at the time, exactly how to wear it so you won't have to do this, over and over and over and over. So he has to go pick up another watch. And when I say watch, it's not a timekeeping piece. It's just, how do you sleep? I don't really know. I didn't research it because I didn't need to. And I research enough stuff to just be researching some stuff. Sorry, I'm late. You're only an hour late. We've got hours left. I have 400 pieces of tissue paper. I've got way more than 400 pieces. 400 pieces would be less than 2 packs. I've got 4,000 pieces of tissue paper. I don't even know if I'll get through them all today. And so far we have wrapped, we have folded less than half. So late is relative, my friend. but we are doing the favorite paper, one of my favorites. I would have preferred the books. Don't know if I would have preferred the books, but the books were in tissue paper. This is Jilson Roberts. It used to be like $65 all day long. Some of the Christmas prints, just some, are like under $50. So if you are looking for Christmas prints, I know it is the middle of February, but you might save yourself like $50 in getting them now. Except they come in 240 packs, so unless you're going to use that much tissue paper within your lifetime, you might not want to. I do sell these in packs of 50 and packs of 100, but every 5 pieces, as you can see, I'm mostly counting 5. If you are short a piece, or, well, if you're just short a piece, I always add extras. If you have too many pieces, just keep it. So you will get, different prints, but Jilson Roberts for the 24 pack charges about $1 a sheet, and it is a variety pack, but for the 48 packs, it's like $35 a sheet. Nope, $35 for 48, so like 80 cents, but you only get one print. And here, please buy from me, I have 4 quadrillion prints. Just kidding. And these are all mystery prints, but if you really hate one of the prints or 2 of the prints, or if you want, mostly a certain print, I absolutely will do that. I'm not above doing that. Or if you want some poly mailers, my website I'll throw on the bottom of the screen. But the black is just as good as I thought it would be. Despite the fact that they don't have monster truck tissue paper, which would have been fun, and I probably would have never used. This room, though, is my front room. We have a front room, which is this giant room. I've never measured it. It's got to be 20 by 18. It's a giant room. I am doing well. YouTube on my TV here is not working. I can only watch on my phone. That is over my head. I do not know how to fix that. I am so sorry, Claire. Claire? Nope, Donna. One day somebody should probably tell me how to work YouTube. Now that I've been on it for, 4 million years. I was going to say a gajillion again. It's not been that long. Maybe a dozen? I don't know. So my husband has been painting all of the white trim in our outside our house, which I almost licked my finger. Which is going to take him. He's a perfectionist when it comes to painting, and it's white paint, so it'll probably take him 2 months to do all of the white trim. So that's what he's been doing. He was out there until like 11 last night. But to be fair, I was mostly sleeping last night. Yesterday, I was pretty tired. I'm here. YouTube on my TV. It's Melanie from Oregon Coast. Hi, Melanie. So I don't even know what time it is. It's got to be around 9 o'clock here, so you're about 6 o'clock. Are you eating anything good for supper? I had chicken, imagine. Okay, I'm about ready for this print to be done, although I like it very much. We will move on. We will move on to a different print after this next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this giant room used to be my pink room, which I loved. But then when we did the floor, we had to move everything. And then I was like, I could probably make, I made easily over $1,000 by selling the items in this room. And now we have, there was a small part of us, I'll do one more, that was thinking about moving down the road in the same community. And the only reason is I got a phone call from somebody, the word has gotten out that I saw on eBay, on YouTube, and all the things. So word got to this person that I could help them. They needed everything. It was a 3-bedroom. It was a lot of stuff. And it had been boarded up for at least 8 years. Like, literally boarded up. So the person contacted me and said, could you come over and give me a quote, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, there's no quote necessary. What do you want to do? Because every contract is different. And she said, get rid of as much big furniture as humanly possible, as fast as possible. And then the rest of the stuff, like, they weren't looking to make top dollar. They were just wanting to clear it out. So that was easy peasy. And they made about $3,000 to $4,000 just because their stuff was incredible. And like, everything was dry cleaned and the moisture was great in the house, and the house was in good condition, and everything was dry cleaned with like plastic, and everything had plastic, and it was their third home. Not the people I spoke with, their great uncle, and the great uncle didn't have children, so like all of the nieces, uncles, great second removed cousins, whatever it was, inherited some of their houses. So she inherited this one. So I was able to do that very quickly with help from Bear. And I don't know where I was going with that. The end. Where was I going with that story? I'm here. I will make a can of soup. I'm off the elliptical. Good for you for going on the elliptical. What kind of soup are you making? Are you making homemade? My sister made homemade soup last night. She took a picture, and homemade bread. I'm like, who do you belong to? She's like, oh, it was so relaxing. What? First of all, standing that long. She's like, oh, I just mixed blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't have 3/4 of those ingredients. So my bread would be like flour and potentially salt. And Bear last night was going to make himself a burger and french fries, and I was like trying to help because, again, he was out painting at 11 o'clock. So it was past 12. And then I cut his hair. I cut Bear's hair because I'm cheap. We've been married 23 years, and I've probably saved thousands of dollars by cutting my husband's hair and my own. So it was after that. And I'm like, do you want me to preheat the oven? He's like, I don't know if we can preheat our oven. I'm like, do you want me to just do something else? Do you want me to make you a popsicle stick? So he did. He did make a burger and fries, but he also doesn't preheat the oven. I am really not sure we could preheat our oven. Our house is from the 80s. Were you able to preheat? There's no preheat button. There's 2 dials, and neither one of them makes sense. Sorry about all the squeaking. Are you talking? Oh, you were talking about Della. Thank you a gajillion times. So I was helping this person clean out this house, and she was lovely, and they lived about 2 hours away, and they already had a house. They had a lovely house. They've invited us to their house. I really need to go to their house. They've got a gorgeous pool. They have people come in from, relatives come from England and Europe and just different spots in Europe. So she was like, dropping the price because houses weren't selling. And it was a much newer house than us. And because the woman who owns the house, who passed away, and the great uncle passed away, was now cystic fibrosis. I always think it's cystic fibrosis. It was wheelchair, starts with a C. I could probably think of it, but I'm gonna move on. So all of the house was ADA compliant, which means like all of the doors, all of everything. And Bear is 6'6". In our house, you could walk in the front door, which is like behind me, which is why I'm gesturing over there, and he won't hit his head. But the way our carport is, you can barely get in our car. And if you put our car in the wrong position, there's poles and you cannot get out of the car. So like you have to position it in a very certain spot. We should like draw an X or have like one of those, things that come down a tennis ball. So she was dropping it fairly quickly and she just wanted it gone. And Bear and I were like, it's a 3-bedroom. It doesn't have a lanai, but we don't really need a lanai. And my mom's like, yeah, but the houses are so close. And like, I am not somebody to just stand around looking at the windows, like outside the windows. It's nice to have windows for light, but I like this giant bay window overlooks a road, and I know my neighbors and I love my neighbors. So like if I see my neighbors out there, especially if they're like gardening or struggling with something, I will go over there. But past that, it had hurricane shutters. It was like a 2007, I don't know, 2010, and and all of the upgrades were so nice. Now it was like dated, like they had red countertops or red backsplash or something, but everything was well done. Like they just didn't go with carpet, they went with like fancy schmancy carpet. And because they hadn't lived in it, it was their 3rd house. Bear and I were like suddenly in October. October was a really bad, terrible month. Just because there's so many choices and I don't do well. I really need to research things. So we did look at it, we did consider it. We did talk to, everybody. We would talk to my sister, my mom, the real estate agent, one of our real estate agent friends. And we didn't want it to get out in the community that we might be moving, but literally it was like right down the street. So we weren't going anywhere in the community. We'd still be driving the same roads in the same community. We just wouldn't have my across the street neighbor necessarily, but whatever. So we were like, do we do this? So we had our favorite real estate agent come in and like look at our house after the floors were done. And she's like, I'd probably stain this wood. And so I did start staining wood, which is fun for like the first 10 minutes. And then we realized our house has a gajillion things of wood. She's like, I'd probably do this and this and this. And none of them were hard things, but like, and we wouldn't have to, but we would make a contingent on us selling our house because we do not want to carry 2 houses, especially with a market that we don't know. But with hurricanes and insurance prices going up and all of the things, I do not want 2 houses and then half of our stuff be there and half of our stuff be there. So when the woman who owns the house, Linda is her name, she and I are friends now, and like I said, she just again invited us down to her house in Cape Coral, which is about 2 hours. She's like, we got an offer, we're thinking about taking it, because I was completely honest with her. I was like, I'm thinking about it, but please don't put like all of your eggs in our house basket. And I said, but I do always want to be honest with you, like of what we're thinking, because, I would want somebody to be honest with me. And I said we would have to make it, we wouldn't really, but we would make a contingent on our house. And our house is worth, oh, I licked my finger. Sorry about that. More than their house because of what we've done to it and blah, 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 blah. And I said, but it's like, this is something we're looking into. And then I want to say like the next week or the next few days, she messaged and then she called and said, we got an offer. It's not a great offer. We have to take less than we even thought and pay for, inspections and take some off because of the air conditioner was older and blah, 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 and we paid closing costs, so like, now's the time. And I was like, and we were like 51% on the fence. We were like 51%, we might move there, 49%, we're pretty happy here. But their use of space, this feels light again. Their use of space was a better use of space. It is light again. Guys, I have magic fingers that shake. They have a third bedroom, which could have been used as an office, and all the rooms were good sizes. And they didn't have this giant open space that I don't know what to do with, because we already have sitting rooms and other rooms. So, excuse me. So I was like, okay, we're okay, sell it to them. So my mom was like, are you sad? My sister's like, are you sad? I'm like, no, I'm just relieved that it's done. Like, I don't have to put any more thought or research, or like our property taxes were so much lower than theirs because I got the county to come in and see all of the issues when we moved in. So like, I made a YouTube video, I did all of the papers, like I really worked hard to get the property taxes to where they should be. And their house was newer, so the property taxes were like 5 to 8 times higher than ours. So I was like, oh good, that was just taken out of my hands. So we are not planning on moving, but we weren't really ever planning on moving. We were slightly planning on moving. We lived in Pennsylvania for 13 years, or longer. This one we've already seen. You're not as fun, but it is really pretty. Look how pretty that is. Reminds me of like the James Webb Telescope. I don't know why. The stars and the galaxies and the universes and the trillions and trillions of universes we can see in the observable universe. So all that to say, Bear and I lived in the same house in Pennsylvania for 13 years, but then his mom passed and then his dad passed. But before his dad passed, we knew we had to put his dad's house on the market, and he built his house. So that was rough. And we only lived a mile from his dad. Everybody lived a mile within anybody. It was 52 people in the entire town. So my husband's last name and my mother-in-law's last name were Rhodes, and there was only like one other road that he was related to. So we were up there, taking care of the house, but then he was hurt, so we were taking care of him, which I have no qualms on taking care of anybody in any aspect of any bodily fluid in any way. Truly, I just thankfully can do that. So, but we were, I was working, he was doing a lot. So when his dad passed, we gave it some time, and then we started looking down here because my CRPS Institute, which was the only institute in the whole wide world at the time, I don't know if that's still the case, which is my disease, was down here. So, and we loved this area. The beaches are gorgeous. Am I in love with the politics of Florida as a whole? Not really, but pick a place, and that's probably how I feel about that. Maybe like Sweden or Finland or something like that. Maybe. I don't really know too much about those places. And they're cold. So after 13 years, we did put our house on the market, and we got $150,000 for it, $152,500 or something like that. And we had paid like $52,500. That can't be. We either paid $50,000, we sold it for like $152,000. It was like triple. But we put a good bit of work into it, and Bear did a lot of the work. We did a lot of the work ourselves. So it wasn't like we made pure profit. And then we took that money and invested in a house in Florida, which was our last house, which we lived in 7 years. And again, we did a ton to it. and we sold it for more than double. And this is the only way we are able to live. And now we live in a mobile home, which is nice. Not complaining in the least, and it feels safe. But it is slightly big for us, especially when Bear wasn't feeling well and all of the housework fell on me because he couldn't get out of bed for, I wouldn't say months, but it was closer, probably 2 years that it was really sketchy. So that's where we've been for 3 years. Cerebral palsy. Yes, that's definitely what it is. Okay. You thought about moving. Were you talking about moving down the road? Yes. It should beep when it reaches temperature. Should beep when it reaches temperature. I don't remember what I was talking about. Probably beans and bacon. I don't cook on work nights. I'm hungry later. I'll do Nature Burger. That's what it is. Nature's Bakery Fig Bar. I know you like those too. Yes, I do like them. I like the chocolate brownie. But I know if I have those in the house, I will probably eat way too many of them. So lately I've been doing, I think they have raspberry, but I've been doing blueberry and strawberry because those are the cheapest and whatever. Melissa, could you do a pre-cooked rotisserie chicken and some fruit and easy peasy put away? I could. Some fruit has high histamines and I will scratch and break out and be pretty sick. So I have to be careful on the fruit. Rotisserie chicken I usually do okay with, although I probably haven't in a few years. I heard something beep again. I'm hoping I'm at 59%. Okay. 79%. It depends on what the chicken has on it. I don't do well with some herbs. I don't do with milk. So it depends. It depends. But yeah, that would be awesome. The problem with me, one of the problems with me, is that I have almost no willpower, and so if I like the thing in my house, I will probably just eat it until it's gone. So for like 3 meals a day, I'm just going to eat chicken, which is not a balanced diet. So I try to buy things that will not make me sick and that I don't like very much. And that's just how I hacked that for myself. Like Bear will bring me home a carton of Pringles, and Pringles doesn't have milk. Pringles has sodium, which sometimes I do okay with because of POTS. But I'm like, please hide these from me now because I've had, half a can of Pringles in one sitting. And so, please don't ever bring these home again. The other day, before Valentine's Day, he brought home 12 cupcakes. And I was like, he's like, do you want a cupcake? I'm like, most likely these have milk, but the icing didn't. And so way too many cupcakes, probably 4 to 6 cupcakes. I just licked the icing off of over 2 days. And he's like, you don't want the cupcake part? I'm like, oh no, I want the cupcake part. I think that's just going to be the part that makes me sick. And so there was that. I'm like, you're welcome to bring cupcakes home, but I should not be eating them. Cerebral palsy, yes, that's what it was. Will the new tissue paper be for sale on the website soon? Yes, I'm guessing by the weekend because I've only folded half of every single one. So as long as I can do another 1, 2, 3, 4, I could at least take some pictures, and then I don't need to potentially fold these all within the next few days. So I'm gonna say probably by the weekend, I will have tissue paper in lots of 50 and 100, and then reseller things. I have so many fun ribbons. My mom's husband, Roger, who doesn't love Roger, he's kind, he's amazing, has been buying me ribbon. I told him to like, as long as it's cheap, like buy all of the ribbon. So now I have 3 giant totes of ribbon. Keep buying me ribbon, Roger. You're not liking this. Decision fatigue is real. It totally is. Hi, Melissa. Hey, smarty, smart, thrifty, and chic. So excited to catch you. Thank you. How long will this tissue paper last you? That is a good question. I would say potentially a year. It's probably guessing too high. It could last 6 months, it could last a year. It just depends on how many orders I have. And because I haven't been filming myself ship, if you don't know, I sold all of my jewelry in October 2025. It was just crazy. We started out October going to Florida. Not Florida, we live in Florida. We were in Florida. We went on Allegiant, which flies right out of Sarasota, Bradenton, which is like 15-minute drive. And we flew into Pittsburgh, which is about an hour, hour and a half drive from where my husband used to live. And if you want to take a look at a random town within like a half hour of where my husband grew up, I would check like Armagh, Dilltown, Dilltown, Dilltown. I think they have a population of like 60 something right now. That's not the town he grew up in. He actually grew up more rural. But Dilltown actually has a post office that is open from, it used to be, 9 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. So that tells you how small. And the post office is attached to a bed and breakfast. And that's about all there is in that town. Now, Armagh, A-R-M-A-G-H, was further yet and has a subway. The subway went in within the last like 15 years, and it does have a small gas station. When we were there in October, I was in Subway because I can eat some Subway without making me too sick. And his cousins were letting us stay in their house. They have a very, very large house because everything is so cheap there. But they have like wings of their house. I would guess 6 to 8 bedrooms, but like there's a giant great room and then like all off, and some of the bedrooms you would go in and there'd be like lofts. And so we flew in and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and Bear and I were just like, okay. And they were asleep and they were like, okay, here's your bedroom. And it was like a full bed. And I was like, they have 6 to 7 bedrooms, and they were so nice, don't get me wrong. But Bear had been there before. He lived there. And last time he went by himself, he's like, oh, we could sleep in different beds because I snore and we sleep at completely different times. So when we got in at like 1 o'clock, I had never thought about the fact that we would be sleeping in the same bed, and my husband is 6'6" and I snore. So like, he's like, you can go sleep in another bed, but I am not exploring somebody's house that I barely know at 1 o'clock at night because I don't even know where they're sleeping. So we did sleep in the same bed, like his feet at my head and vice versa, because there's no way we're gonna fit in that bed side by side. And I am a hot sleeper and he's a cold sleeper and all of the things. So it did get better as soon as he moved to a different bedroom. They were so sweet. She was a home ec teacher. I forget what he do. I want to say dentist. I have no idea. I've made that up. Something along the lines of dentist. My husband's gonna come in and he's like, he wasn't a dentist. I don't know what he was. But like they had decent jobs for the area and more than decent. So they had like, you know, and land costs, you know, $1 an acre. It's not that much. but it's really, really cheap in that area. So she thought she had learned that I was lactose intolerant, which I could be, but I am highly allergic to milk casein, which is a completely different thing. So they had like 5 or 6 freezers, refrigerators full of homemade items with lactate milk, which of course I couldn't eat. So once I got to the subway, and like the actual sub making shop in Armagh, things did get a little bit easier, and we got to see friends, and some of my friends I stole from Bear. And they are lovely, lovely human beings. So I would just go to take a rental car, go to Subway, go walk on the trails, and then pick Bear up, and we would hang out at friends all day. And not that these people weren't very nice, but I just don't know them. And when you're at somebody's house, you know, they want to tell you about their children and their great grandchildren, but these people could have been nobody to me. I didn't know anybody. So, you know, there's only so many hours that I can sit uncomfortably. Their seats were comfortable, but like I need meds, and listen to people that I don't know about. So again, lovely if they're watching, they're not watching. Your house is lovely. Your cooking, I'm sure, is insane because Bear almost ate an entire cake like within the first taste. And she was like, that cake was made for something else. And he's like, I'm sorry. Anytime I would make a cake, I would let Bear just eat the whole cake because that was the premise of the cake. Nobody else was going to eat the cake. This is the tissue paper, I forgot what this is called already, that I was like, not sure about the color story. And the tomato reds are definitely more orange. This yellow and this yellow, still not sure about it, but it is pretty interesting. So that was the beginning of our October. Then we got home and almost immediately, like not unpacked. I wonder if the squeaking, I think the squeaking is the table. I'm sorry if you hear that. People were tearing up our floors and moving our furniture, and I hadn't shut off my eBay, so somebody had come in and offered me several $1,000s for most of my jewelry. I did take out the gold, so I was like, done. Like, just let's do this. So now that I don't have very much jewelry, if all, I know I'm jumping around. That's just me and my brain jumping around stories. I'm not selling as much because jewelry was, you know, sometimes $5 to $10. And I haven't been thrifting as much because my mom is paying me to take photos and do pre-draft listings, but like she needs to add in the price and stuff for her. So I've been doing a lot of that and a lot of the stuff inside. If anybody has any idea of what we can do with this room, let me know. My mom thinks a living room, but our living room right now is like the perfect size for us, and it's connected to the kitchen. So anytime anybody needs like a snack or a refill of a drink or like to start cooking eggs, Bear, an egg sandwich at like 11 p.m., we don't have to pause. If we're in here, I don't know. We used to have this as an office, but then we finished the lanai, which is huge, and put air conditioning in there, and that is much better for my office. Plus we have giant bay windows, so we've got, I think 12 windows here, like 6, so like 6 huge vertical windows, vertical windows. So, and they have these vertical blinds, which done, like they're upgraded, gorgeous, working vertical blinds. I'm not complaining about them. So anytime we would have to watch TV, which we'd have to plug the TV in here, and that is recessed. So like we could put the TV in this like lower 2 shelf section without any problem because of the outlet. But we need to be so many feet within the TV. It just, and my mom's like, yeah, but when people come and sit, we don't have people come and sit. I own 3 forks. People are not coming over unless it's my mom and Roger, and then we eat in my kitchen because I have like an island with chairs, 4 big chairs, but you could really put like 6 to 8 chairs there. It's a big kitchen full of empty cabinets. Again, not complaining. I'd rather have too big a house than too small a house. Okay, I'm over this tissue paper. This is really pretty tissue paper though, I think. It helps that the gold, again, the color store I wouldn't necessarily do, but the gold helps. Okay. This crazy property, high taxes, can be much higher in the same neighborhood. I highly agree, and that's why I worked so diligently in recording every single scrap of paperwork that was left over, because when we bought our house, they left everything. Everything, like credit cards, checkbooks, like I had to send back love letters, like photos from people who had passed. Like, so I sent back all of that kind of stuff. Nope, this goes the other way. We are doing whatever this was called, Geo. I'll show you up close. So because they had left so much document behind against the house, Manatee County was insanely helpful in getting our property taxes down. Now, if we ever do anything with permits, plumbing, I don't really know what all the permits, like maybe roofing, the windows didn't count, and I couldn't tell you why, because the county had to come and inspect them, and they were missing 3 screws that I had in our workshop, our garage, and he would not wait the minute for me. So our lovely, I really enjoyed the window people, had to be charged a fine of like $100 to $150 because they were missing 3 screws. And I was like, I am so sorry. I was going to bring in the screws. And then they had to do that again for the back room, which is another part of the lanai. And it was missing 1 screw, and they still got the thing. So whatever. They did fix it. It didn't cost us anything, but I just felt bad for them. So yeah, our property insurance is under $400 here, and it was closer to $2,000 there. Now, we live in Florida, so you can do a homestead act, which means like this is your main house, you live here full-time, maybe most of the year, I don't know. We qualified for that. So that did bring it down from like $2,000 to $3,000 for the last person who only spent like 2 weeks in December here, to the lower. But then when I really made the case and did all the videos, and thankfully, randomly, I don't know how that happened, somebody sat down with me and reviewed everything and dropped it to under $400 a month, because we own our land. We have a mobile home, as you know, but we do own our land, so we don't have lot rents. Lot rents in our area are usually over $1,000 for a lot less amenities than we get. Ours is about like $200, $207 a month, but we get landscaping, we get a guard shack, we get ponds you can fish in and trails, we get pools and a community center. We all have the key to libraries, pool tables, all of the things, puzzles, cable, internet, recycling, not recycling, my mom gets recycling in her community. Sewage, I don't know, there's other things I'm forgetting. So for like $200 a month, you would pay way more than that for just like almost internet and cable. We don't really watch cable. In fact, we've lived here almost 3 years and I just set up one of our 2 cable boxes. We've not watched it at all. So that we could do without, but the rest of the stuff is really good. Oh, an outdoor gym. I don't know. It's really good. Okay, let's fold this and then show you the pattern of this because I am really into this. This feels like 2 pages. The dark, I hate to even call it teal. It's like a dark peacock. It's definitely not teal. There's not enough green, but it's definitely not royal. And the black and then the gold and the black is outlined. That kite shape is outlined. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. Yeah. Do you have a Patreon membership? No, I don't. I'm so sorry. I used to have a Patreon membership monthly. And that's when Bear could do it because there's a lot of counting, as you see. And not only is there counting tissue paper and counting inspirational cards, which I don't have in here, and counting ribbons and counting poly mailers and then like all putting it in bags. I could order the supplies and we could have like a fruit theme, a nature theme, a bee theme, a Thanksgiving theme. I could do all of that from mostly bed, but then I would count on him to mostly count things and put them in piles. And then we would both together make sure everybody got everything. And then I would print the labels. Now, because he's working almost every day saying and taking care of the outside of the house, which I'm not complaining because no way do I want to be up on a giant ladder of our gable ends painting things that are already white, but like freshening them. I couldn't do this. It doesn't make sense. We don't make enough money on Patreon. We barely make enough money to do this. Like we make a couple dollars every time a package sells, but it does also pay for the cost of my packaging, if that makes sense. Now, if you live down the street, you might make, like $6 to $8. But if you live in Alaska, Hawaii, California, we might make like $5 per package. And I have to run the website and pay for the website, which isn't like that expensive if you buy for a trillion years. But I don't make that much. So, no, Patreon is a no. Will it ever change? I don't see it changing. I don't see us going back to Patreon. Just because I didn't really put any extra videos on there. All it was people signing up to get like handwritten cards, which I did love to do, and they were $7. But with the cards and the stamps, I was still only making like $2 to $3 a card, which was fine. I love writing cards. I do it for most people I know, especially with the holidays, except a few. I've gotten a little lax in my elderly years, but most people still get handwritten cards if you know me. So I probably won't go back to Patreon. It's just, I only have so many good hours outside of bed. You are seeing me on my best hours, truly. I take my medicine, I have eaten, I have slept, I have napped. Yesterday was a good day. These are literally my best hours you're seeing. If you were to see, I would not feel my worst hours because there's just a lot of vocalness that you don't want to hear. It's not pleasant. It's not me necessarily cursing. It's just me yelling or trying to get in a position. This also feels like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could I feel myself more doing more boring things? Yeah. But One of the diagnoses I most likely have, which I've not said this out loud, is probably some kind of executive functioning ADHD. And I'm not saying I have classic ADHD, but like there's so many things that go into one of my days. I have things that I do in bed, things that I do on the couch, things that I do, and I never really know what the day's gonna hold. And very few things for me stay the same from day to day. My mom and I are going thrifting on this Friday. Could I tell you the date? No, I could not. Unless one of the guests gets really sick or doesn't want to do it. This is the next paper. I've had this before. It is so pretty. Berries, yes. It will keep when it's ready was probably a guess about your oven preheating. Yeah. I have a meat thermometer, and so if I am cooking chicken, which rarely happens, I buy pre-made cooked chicken. Probably shouldn't, it probably has chemicals in it, but it's just whatever. When Bear makes, last night he had a burger, he does use the meat thermometer because I have anxiety and he has a weak immune system and he's had septic shock multiple times, and we've both had food poisoning over the last four quadrillion years. I grew up in this area. Will you guys stay in Florida? I would like to say yes. Am I opposed with, no, especially with my mom here. Will I be opposed to living in another area? No. Would I love to live by the Grand Canyon with my sister and my mom and my sister on the compound? Sure. Do I have compound money? No, I do not. Compounds meaning like, I don't know, where we all have our own homes and they all like intermingle and there's a community feel, and like it's not too far from shopping of any kind, like groceries, maybe within an hour, and my sister can plant and my mom could do what she wants and I could do what I want, and within a 2-hour drive there's a really good thrift store. None of this probably exists, but yeah, I wouldn't be opposed. I love Florida for a lot of reasons. The beaches are gorgeous. We live far enough in that most hurricanes, we've had like one hurricane really touch this area in the last over 100 years, and we live in a mobile home. And all it did was maybe $1,000 worth of damage. So we didn't go through any kind of like, a lot of people in this area didn't go through insurance or whatever. And most people helped each other out. Our HOA is volunteer run. I feel like this is not enough paper. This is. So a lot of people volunteer in this area so we can keep it non-third party, which is why my HOA is like $200 to $207. It just raised by a couple dollars in January, which is why I don't know the exact. And you can pay quarterly, or you could pay bi-quarterly, by twice a year, or you could pay yearly. So this past time I did just pay for 1 quarter, and then we'll see. I knew taxes were coming up, so that has to be done soon. Bear and I are also looking into going to Cancun to have dental work because Bear needs a root canal. And as you might know, a root canal is like $1,500. He has insurance, like not great dental insurance, but like some dental insurance. So that's just the root canal, and I've had a root canal, and it was about $1,400 with insurance. and they did not get all of the roots. My tooth had like too many roots. Some teeth have like however many roots, 4 I want to say, and mine had like 6 or 7. So they had to go back in and charge me, and then you have to go back to your dentist. So like all said and done, it was like $3,500, $3,600 to have 1 root canal. So with all that said, he needs a root canal, and we don't need like crazy things done, but he needs a root canal. We both need x-rays, which we've had now in the States in the last few months twice. And I might have already told you this story, sorry. And I need like 2 cavities, caps, crowns, I'm not exactly sure. And cleaning, we both need cleanings. It's been just slightly more than 6 months, except the dentist we've been using in Bradenton closed its doors. No idea where the records were. We did not get any kind of letters, because this is the kind of thing that I would have never thrown out. Cannot find the records. We've been going there for about 10 years. I'm sure another place bought out the records, because that's how that happens. I've been told that by many a doctor, that when a doctor retires, shuts its doors, they kind of farm out your records, and whoever is willing to pay for your records gets them. So I cannot figure out who they sold the records to, because when I call them, it's no longer in business. And I've called dozens of other dentists around our area. We live in a giant dentist place, and nobody has our records. So we had to find new dentists, which is fine. They were in insurance. And so they did the x-rays and like the consults, because that's what you have to do when you have no records. And so all that said and done, it's going to be like, I don't know, 15, 16,000 for both of us to do like fairly minor things. I wouldn't call a root canal a minor thing, but like it shouldn't be, you know, half of a car in my opinion. So then Bear, I was like, oh, that's not happening. Then Bear went by himself, because I hate the dentist. I don't hate dentists. I just hate, my mouth is very small, and I have a tongue tie, and I have anxiety. So like, not thrilled with like just being up all the things, saying like, move your tongue, and my tongue has got its life of its own. My tongue will not move. So Bear went, and the next place was going to be even higher. It was like 24,000. We're like, So we're looking to go into Cancun to get dental work. And the person we're working with in Cancun has like thousands of wonderful reviews. And they, if we lived in California, we'd probably just cross and go to Tijuana, but we don't. We live in Florida. So you can get down to Cancun for like $300 round trip a person. It's going to cost us like $2,000 to $3,000, maybe $2,500 to $3,000 for everything, for the dental work, for the food, for the transportation, for the flights. So we are going to do that. We just applied again for our passports because those expired, and we had hopes on doing it at the end of March when Bear had off for 5 days. Bear books about a year in advance, and so he can't just like take off from singing at our retirement community. He could in an emergency, but not 5. And our passports won't get here in time, of course, which nobody's fault. I expedited them, and it's still not going to get here in time. So we'll probably go at the end of May, as long as everything works out. So we'll see about that. I don't know where I was going with that. Does anybody know? I grew up in the area. Ridgeway, very small town. Ridgeway. Is that a town? I don't know that town. I remember the fork. Yes. I have 3 forks. I have the world's best fork It is the MEPRA MEPRA Italian fork, and the design is Fantasia. World's most perfect fork. It balances, it sticks meats, but you can't accidentally stick yourself and bleed. The balance, the roundedness, 10 out of 10 fork for me. I have now moved over so you cannot see the one piece of decor. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's go on to this, which has Lily of the Valley. Are things beeping for other people? I can't tell if it's his table. Bet it's the table. Sorry about that if that beeping is annoying you. Beeping annoys me highly. I like the yellows in this one a whole lot. Also, I lost my towel. This one has gold, but the gold isn't as like popping. This is really pretty. If I could find the right ribbon, it's like, I don't know what to call this pink. It's like a muted, what are we calling that pink? Can you really see the pink? It's not red. It's not red. What are we calling that? Can mobile homes be sound for 100 years? Yeah. Depends on, I mean, like, think about tiny homes, like custom, really nice, high scale, like this tiny home cost $500,000. And you're thinking, it's 300 square feet. How could that possibly happen? But it could. So it depends on if it's mass produced. Ours was in the 80s, the late 80s. And it looks incredible. So it's, you know, almost 40 years old. So could it last another 60 years? Yeah, I don't see why. Now, if you walked away from it and didn't do anything to it, they need vapor barriers. They need probably some kind of air conditioned dehumidifier. Our central air and central heat throughout all of the rooms, except the lanai, we just put in like this. What is this called? It's up on the wall. I should know what that's called. I bought it. Our air conditioner has a dehumidifier in it because Florida is either really wet or mostly really wet. So there's a lot of humidity. So you wouldn't want to like leave furniture around for 100 years. It would just be all moldy, mushy, gross. But if you had it under the right conditions, yeah, you could. Hi Melissa, I got home from playing bunco. I always wanted to play bunco. Saw that you were live, how fun. Anyway, I was wondering if you were going to be selling any poly mailers anytime soon. Yes. Yes, they're on the bottom of that. Poly mailers are on my website, bloomingclothing.com, but just feel free to email me if you want some. If you want like specific, not specific colors so much, even though if you like hate the dinosaurs, totally understand. I usually only include a few of the really cheap ones, like one or two, so you can really get an idea of the really expensive ones. Pretend that didn't happen. Like these two, this one's gonna be at least double. So like, could you get these on Amazon for like, I don't know, $17.99, $100? Yeah, you definitely could. Would they rip in the mail? They say no, but yeah, you could. No, I'm gonna rip. This one's graceful mailers, and I don't even think this is a really good one, but like, I'm gonna try to push my finger through it. Like, it's still not through it. My finger's starting to hurt. There. Like, pretty much, and this is still pretty much intact. So even if the mail did that, you'd probably have your package still there. But like, so I don't buy many of these. I buy once in a while if they're really cheap, just to include them so you know you're feeling like you got a good deal, and you can also do the test I just did, because the cheap poly mailers, the white ones, are sometimes even worse. But the dinosaurs, I have like one other. It's black and white stars. I think I only have one or two of those left, because that's the one I was giving out for years to like show you that you're getting a much better quality. The tissue paper is the best quality I've found. If you could find, my mom even said that, like, if you can find a better quality tissue paper, I am willing to invest and try it all out for us. I really like the black background. It just feels so sophisticated. Are you updating your website with new? I will be updating my website by this weekend. I can't remember what day it is. Is it Wednesday? Hello from Camp. Oh, I'm not going to be able to know. How would you pronounce this name? Should I embarrass myself? Sure. J sometimes make Y. Leune, North Carolina, where we all watch you. Oh, Mom, I'm Roger, and we love all the content. Just a bunch of clothespins over here, aka military clothespins. Thank you a gajillion times for your sacrifices and for all you do for me and for the people that you are protecting. Thank you. Yes, they are beeping. What is beeping? Is it my table? Like if I be really quiet. I know our smoke detectors aren't beeping. Is it still beeping? Hi, we're testing if something is beeping. Now my husband is in his room, but I don't hear him beeping. Okay, now I'm gonna try to make it beep because I think it's my table. Is it that? That feels like a very annoying loud sound. High pitched, maybe not loud, high pitched sound. I'll probably be on for another like half hour, I'm gonna guess, because this is gonna take me 4 quadrillion years, probably like 5 hours, and I'd rather be watching a podcast. No offense. Currently, I'm learning about Carl Sagan, so. And there's a podcast, of course, I'm sure you know, Amy Poehler, who's an amazing actress, name it, who has a podcast, fairly new, who I've been watching intermittently. And then, it's the table squeaking, I thought it was. I wonder if I can. There's a towel that I dropped on the floor. Let's see if I can. I'm on a wobble chair, by the way. I think it's still gonna do it. So, feel free to judge me for this. I have been listening to go to sleep because sleep is elusive. Like I said, I've had trouble sleeping since the age of 6. And in college, I took way too much NyQuil. because I went to a Bible college, and I never even thought about alcohol. In fact, Bear just bought me alcohol not too long ago, and I opened it, and then ants got in it. So all the alcohol got thrown out. It was like a $5 bottle of, my mom's like, what is this? I'm like, a bottle of alcohol? She's like, what kind? And I'm like, it doesn't say it on the label. So it tasted terrible. And with the medication I'm taking, again, I have anxiety. Even a sip of alcohol threw me into a tailspin. So glad the ants enjoyed it. And possibly we had some drunk ants there for a while. Big fan of you and your mom. Thanks. I appreciate it, Savannah. Love that paper. I know. This paper particularly, this paper is really pretty in person. I still wish I would have saved. If I would have saved all of the paper. Just like, I don't know, maybe 20 sheets. I'd have to save more than that, because then somebody would be like, I really wish I had the seashell paper. And then I would give it to you and I'd be out again, which is probably what happened. Yeah. Next time I will fix this table is a folding table from like Home Depot. I have better tables. I just went to, I even hate to call it a yard sale, it's Facebook Marketplace. I got an IKEA table that was like 78 inches long. It's really hard to find, but it looks like it's fairly narrow, and it has 2 drawers that she painted gold, and it's 4 posts, but like nothing in the middle. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I either paid $30 or $40, and it fit in my car, so how could you go wrong with that? And my mom came in and she's like, you should put the room that's working perfectly well with the TV room into this room, like your couch over here, and then that there, and then the TV there. And I'm like, what's going on with this wall? Because this wall is just blank. She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, we don't need a drop off because we don't use that door. We use the laundry room door, which has the drop off. And then what are we doing with the room that we cleared all of the furniture out? And Bear's gonna hit his head on the 1987 fan that's floating in the middle of the now empty room that's off of the kitchen. She's like, well, you could put a dining room table there. I'm gonna put a dining room table here. And we eat in front of the TV. And we have, 4 very large sized chairs around the island. And I have chairs, we've got chairs in every room. We have to have, a party. A party where people sit. It's like a whole house. What is that, where children go around in a circle and find a seat? Ring around the rosy, that's not it. Find a seat. And we'd have to invite like 80 people over because we have too many seats. I've got 4 seats in this empty room. I'm falling asleep, so tonight, hope you're able to watch the rest on tomorrow. Yes, I think it's the table. It is the table. Duck, duck, goose. Yes, that is. Is it? I don't think it's duck, duck, goose. You go around and the music stops and you have to find a chair. Night, night. Good night. My mom works very hard, and I don't know how she does it because I would have given up ages ago. I did give up. Producing the quality of video she produces just by herself and my sister is insanity. There was another squeak. Sorry about that. Is it Ring Around the Rosie? It's not Ring Around the Rosie, right? What is musical chairs? That is it. You win, Joni. Johnny? Bear and I have been watching a TV show because I forgot which one we were watching before. Might be still on. No, it's the morning show with Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston. So we had to find another show, which means I don't mind because I have, you know, listening time when I'm doing this kind of stuff or listing or taking photos. It's called Drops of God. It's on Apple TV. Ask me if I'm thrilled to be still subscribing to Apple TV. I am not. I'm not thrilled to be subscribing to anything I have to pay a fee for every month. Is anybody like, yay, another month is coming up. I have to pay for this random thing that I may or may not be using. Anyway, it's called Drops of God. Couple things. The first thing is it's in 3 languages, so there are subtitles. Bear doesn't love reading subtitles when people are speaking in different languages, and I understand why. We're not like, look at our phones, look at TV people. We're like, look at TV, maybe I'll rub your head, maybe you'll rub my feet kind of thing with our current setup. If we were in this setup, who knows what would happen. So I think it's in Italian, Japanese, and English. Also, there's 2 seasons, Apple TV, so like it's really well done. And the second season just came out, so it gets better. But the first few shows, first few episodes have like some trauma associated with them. And although I am 10 years past ketamine, I still don't do well with trauma, especially with what the world is. I don't love, no, it's not violence. It's just like psychological trauma, except it does get debunked the further on you go. So like the first episode, I was like, absolutely not. Then I watched the second episode by myself and I was like, okay, if I watch this by myself and then process, and then maybe Bear will like it. And Bear does like it. So we're watching Drops of God. And we are still in the first season. So tonight we might watch that. He worked today. And then went over to my mom's to help her. There we go. So, and then he did other things. I'm not exactly sure what he did. He might have vacuumed and taken out the garbage. Because yesterday was President's Day. Our garbage day gets switched by a day. And asked me, here's what we're doing. We have a calendar. If everybody else is putting out their garbage, I'm putting out my garbage. That's the plan. I cannot remember because they just changed in Manatee County. We used to have our own trash cans. And they would do it twice a week, and then recycle was once a week, and then yard clippings was once a week. These were all different days, by the way. And then you could put anything you wanted, couches, refrigerators, rolls of carpet, anything you wanted, they would pick up for free for years and years and years and a gajillion years. And then this year, they gave us all one very large rolling. When I say rolling, there's only 2 wheels, so you really have to it's like almost over my head. I have no idea how people are doing this. And they're all doing it once a day, and it's a different day. And they took away the ability to get things taken for free. So everything has to fit in this one garbage can, and the garbage can has to be hidden from sight from all 4 corners of your house. Which means we have to put it in the workshop. And let me just tell you, it's winter, so it's not a huge deal. But winter in the summer, when you're not picking up trash like food scraps once a week, I cannot imagine that going well, but I could be wrong. I have been wrong many times about many things. And the fact that we had to throw out an old fan that was working, So Bear had to like saw off different parts of the fan to fit this in our garbage can, and they took away recycle. You know, just our community. I don't know. Our community was paying $13 a month for recycle, and they gave it to us as an option. So, which made sense because I really don't want to be paying $13 a week for recycle. So anything recycled now either has to be taken, and they don't recycle cardboard, to like a recycling center, which is only about like 5 miles away, but round trip it could be an hour. And you know how recycle is. Recycle's not perfect. Some are, but our recycle here in Manatee County, Florida is, you know, like 15% actually gets recycled and the rest gets chucked. So that's my recycle debacle. But Bear and I made sure we are ready to go with midterm elections, all of the elections, local elections, and we are ready to vote, and with our passports and all of the things. Not that that's going to change recycling, but hopefully it changes something. Okay, I think that's my last one, because now that you've said it, the squeaking is also driving me insane. Night, musical chairs, said hello. Okay, so these are the ones. I'm just gonna pull out one of each. Also, I am wearing a skirt. That's what I'm wearing. So if it looks like I'm not wearing pants, I say that every time, but sometimes it really does look like I'm not wearing pants. This black is so good, so good. It's my favorite one. Just because we are about 2.5 hours into this. So if you were to order a packet, when I update the website, how many of these do I have? One, that's inside out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. These should not count. 16, this should not count. 17, 18, 19, 20. This is the second one. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I think I did this one already. 20, 25. So roughly I have 25 everyday prints. If you want, like I have a blue plaid. No, it's in my Christmas. My other empty Christmas thing. If you want to order from me, check Instagram. It's bloominclothing.com, or you could just email bloominclothing@gmail.com. These are the prints. Take one away. That I currently have. And if you don't like the childless prints, I'll show you what the childless prints are. Feel free to let me know. So I don't remember every single print. This one's like painterly, and it's got, I don't think it has a pearl background, but it does have gold. This one is matte, but it is really pretty. This one does have gold, and I do like it slightly better because I don't think the tomato red is red. It's more orange. This is more orange, so that's really helping it. And there is like a gold. Then I do not like that one. But again, if you really don't like one or two, I will be glad to make up a custom. It's just that with all of the tissue paper I have, this feels like 6 sheets. The tapestry, the butterfly. I don't have a gajillion butterfly. I think I have like less than 10 of those. I think they did away with butterfly. This one has the strawberries. I didn't order every one I wanted because some of them were sold out. Like I really thought I would get Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or whatever what that one was called. And I thought I would get the strawberries. This one also has strawberries. Okay, pretend that one doesn't count. I don't know what I'm down to, like 23 prints. The feathers I have like maybe 20 to 30. These I ordered another. The birds I think I have about 40 or 50. This I have plenty. The bluemen I have plenty. This I have plenty. This I have plenty. This is, it's so hard. It is pink and like a matte black. I know some people really like this one. I think I just don't like the like, this looks like a spoon. I don't know. Then the two children prints. Okay, then this one. Then the two children prints I really am into. I don't really see this as a children print, but I totally get if you would. And then this one feels like 4 prints too. I'll make sure you have enough. And then I'll throw in some extras. So even if you just get tissue paper or just get the poly mailers, there will absolutely be extras in there for you. You can ask anybody who's ever ordered anything from me. You know what would be really pretty? It is fun to mix and match. This and this is so pretty, I think. But like, so would this and this kind of like goes. And this isn't bad. Let's find a kooky one like this. You know what I mean? Like this is like crazy. I think like this and this might go. I think this and this would kind of be fun. Again, like this and this kind of is a fun thing to do. Dropping things everywhere. Now we have like, this is a big one. So this really only has pink and orange. So in my mind, like you could go for pink and orange, but I don't think that's great. So what I might do with pink and orange, like that's not bad. Nope. Nope. Again, not really. This and this isn't bad. I know it doesn't look great in camera. Here's one that would go with almost everything. This is definitely a winner in my book, and I haven't even, this goes with almost everything. Just gonna pick one up randomly. That's okay. This is more of an autumn print in my mind, but like that goes, that kind of goes, looking for, still dropping things. Not really. I think this would go with, I like the bows with this. Do I like the bows with this? Here's another one of those, like, that doesn't really, it's not bad because it's both got, but this one has the blue. Looking for everything just falling off. Dogs wouldn't be back with that, believe it or not. That's pretty decent. Anything with that shade of blue. I do have solids if you really want me to throw some solids. Like I know I have this color solid. I think this and this would be okay. I have a ring light on, so it's a little hard to see. But like this blue and this blue is really decent together. Here's the bows. I think this might be okay-ish. Enough that you have to mix. Especially this, oh, this one looks really pretty. We had one that matched this. It was a crazy one. Remember the crazy one? This and this might go. That's kind of fun. This and this would definitely go. There's like so many mixes and matches, and when you're buying a pack from me, you can buy a pack from anybody you want, honestly. Also, I won't charge tariffs. Okay, this doesn't go. Let's find something. Did we find something that went with this so far? These aren't even all the polymers I have. I think this would go. This one would go with the Geo, I think. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, we still haven't found one that matches this. Does this match the bows? Did I do that? Nah. I need a more muted one. I didn't pick a whole bunch of muted. I was going to say, that's not going to go. This might go with the Geo, though. I'm sure this and this would go. It's really hard. This background's white, and it's got like blues and greens in it. I bet you that's not bad. I should have pulled some more of like almost the solidy colors. So that would go with the Geo. Does this go? Nope, bet you that goes with the Geo too. That's not bad. Don't go into the water, please. Well, you get the point. You get the point. I think those would kind of be fun together. I've lost my glasses. We've lost everything. Everything is all over. I know you can't see, but like, everything is all over. So many kinds of prints. I know, and these aren't even all of them. You should see the Christmas prints. What's everybody's kind of bagel? Oh, that's fun. Blueberry bagels are my favorite. When I was little, my mom would tell you I had sticks of butter and ham and bread. That's not a bagel. My favorite bagel, if I could eat bagels, because most of them are made with milk, would be a cinnamon raisin bagel, untoasted, with mozzarella cheese in the microwave. Gotta go. Love you, Kathy. Gotta go AV everything. Oh, with everything. Never mind, Kathy. I take that back. You're talking about bagels, everything. I've never had a bagel. I grew up on Long Island in Suffolk County, so like our delis had bagel. You mostly went for bagels and cold cuts, let's just be honest. So like an egg and cheese bagel, I don't even know, my stepfather used to call it something. It was like a New York thing. I know J-Lo was asked a certain question, and I was like, oh, I even know that, and I lived like not even close to the city. But bacon, egg, and cheese bagel or something. But I still don't like toasted food. I don't really like hot food or cold. Well, cold food's usually okay. Like popsicles and ice cream, if I could eat those. I can eat some popsicles, so the outshine. But I would probably go with a cinnamon raisin bagel untoasted with mozzarella, like a thick thing of mozzarella, just microwaved. Yum. Yum, yum. Oh, I found my glasses. I think I didn't step on them. There they are. $7 glasses. So. Yep. So 23 people are here. Thank you so much for watching. It is 10:30. I'm going to pretend to clean all of this up, except I'm definitely not. Also, I bought a second phone. It was under $50. It works with AT&T, which I do not have AT&T. I have T-Mobile because T-Mobile over a certain age, I want to say 55, which I'm not, but Bear is. We have an age gap. Is like $30 a month. I don't know if that's still the case. We've had it for like a trillion years. $30 a month, and that includes like everything forever, like all of the talking, all of the minutes, all of the unlimited data, all of the everything. So we pay $60 for 2 phones a month. But I bought another phone. It was AT&T. It's in gorgeous shape, and I just bought it for filming, taking photos. I sold my really good camera for like $300 or $400, and I feel like that's what I paid for it, honestly, on Amazon. But my new phone isn't fully set up, and you can only use it on Wi-Fi or to call 911. So I'm going to be using it to either listen to podcasts while I'm using this phone to take photos for my mom and me, or vice versa. So I'm very excited about that, other than setting it up. Okay. I think that's the end of this. Thank you so much. I was going to open it again. For my glassy baby, which Bear hasn't seen, it's lovely. I will find a better spot than this, honestly. Because there's nothing on any of these other than that. Why did you sell your camera? Good question. The camera I bought in a different house, so it's got to be like 5 to 7 years old. It was a Canon Mark something, and it was having some kind of error where the lens would pop out, and it would say something like, I don't remember what it said. It didn't say foggy, like moisture in lens. I don't even know if moisture was the right word. And then it would like go back, and I couldn't take a picture. You could circumvent it by putting in the battery like after it did that. But like every time I went to use the camera, I didn't want to have to do the thing every single time I needed to use my camera and then shut off the camera and then pop the battery out and pop the back in. So I just closed it on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody bought it. And then with that money, I made money, kind of. I spent the money, but I used it for years and years and years. And so I sold everything with it, all the extra batteries, all the extra whatever. I had cases, boxes, whatever. And then I just bought like, a $45 plus shipping, really nice, gorgeous cell phone, because that's really all I needed to do. I did not need like travel through Thailand to take exotic bird photos and like exchange lenses. I needed to take a t-shirt hanging up on a mannequin. I didn't need to go through the research of buying the best camera for the job I wasn't going to have. I'm not taking pictures of people at their wedding or their engagement. I'm taking, photos of shirts on whatever, or dresses. So that's why I sold it. It was when we moved here, had some stress with Bear being so sick for so long. And so the camera didn't get used. It just sat in a drawer. And then I thought, anything I'm not using that's just like sitting, and I know myself well enough. I'm 46. I'm pretty self-aware, hopefully. I have lots more learning to do, and I know none of the answers almost. I realize that as you learn more, you're realizing like, oh, I know nothing. Why does anything? How do you make tissue paper? Like, could you look it up? Yeah, but could I tell you like the very process of how to do it? No, I could not. So a camera sitting in a drawer for years, me and I using it, and me using my phone, and my mom always says I have great photos. I have great photos. It's mostly because of the daylight in Florida, honestly. But I just thought, oh, I'll just get another really cheap phone and make some money off of the camera that's just sitting around doing nothing. So that's why I did that, because I like the photos from my phone better than the photos from the really expensive camera. It wasn't, it was like $300 or $400 or $500 at most with all of the parts. So I just didn't want to do that. Okay, so I think that's the end of this story. Oh, I will show you one more thing. Amazon used to do this, and they still could potentially, that squeaking is annoying, do this, but Paper Mart also did this. They included Jilson Roberts wrapping paper in like the top instead of bubble wrap or biodegradable wrap. So my second package only came with this, but I will use this. My first package and other packages came with this. It's upside down. It's upside down. And like, will I put books on this to maybe like make it flatter? Yeah, but like, look how pretty that is. It's, the gold has a holographic to it. And I have a, oh, you can kind of see it on the horn. How fun is that? I know. I can make myself a dress. I mean, like a short dress, but not that short. Out of paper. For all of the events, I need paper dresses for. Today I went to Walgreens. That might have been it. I think I went to the mailbox. Couldn't even tell you. Bear went to work, and then he dropped off some stuff at FedEx. At FedEx for me. Boxes at FedEx. So that's it. The rest of my week is pretty empty, other than Friday when my mom and I thrift. And I will try to film. I bought this new like neck thing because I have a magnet camera. The back of my camera is a magnet, so like you could put it on the neck thing and like bundle up. And then my last video did it, and people are like, this isn't the best video, but yeah, that's the video you're getting, because my life is not necessarily all about YouTube and eBay, but I am trying, I promise. I need to feel well, and I need to also suddenly have my pilot's license. I don't need to, but I do really want to learn. And I am volunteering more hours than I have potentially ever volunteered in my whole life. And I'm taking care of myself as best possible through menopause. And my mom lives down the road-ish. So sometimes we go for walks, and it's winter, so we are doing winter outdoor projects. The other day, I took out all of my like plastic edge gardening border and put in almost the identical black edge border, but this time it was metal. And did I get metal? I had gloves on most of the time. Did I get metal shards of splinters in every single finger? Yes, I did. But man, what are you gonna do? I put a little bit of like 1980s salve on it. It's like a drawing balm that starts with a P. Good stuff. You can iron the paper. One could iron the paper here, Cindy, if one did own an iron and an ironing board. Do you think I ever owned an iron? No. I set the bar very, very low for myself when Bear and I got married. Bear came from a farming town of 52 people, and people owned irons, and so the woman would wake up and take care of the farm, and then cook breakfast from scratch, and then go back out to the farm after they did dishes, and then come in and cook lunch from scratch, and then go back out, and then come in and cook dinner, and then do chores. And like Monday, their chores were like all of the laundry. Tuesday was like all of the ironing. Bear had a house with a basement and a laundry chute. He would drop his clothes off in the laundry chute. They go down to the basement. His mom would dry them, wash them, dry them, spot clean them, all of the things, iron them, and put them back up in his closet. Guess who is not doing that? Guess who is cooking his own food? Guess who will never own an iron? I do not like that. Irons have burned me in the past. I do not like standing. Again, pots, just name something I don't like standing. I own Downy, which is way too expensive because Bear needs his clothes ironed. And so we are like, putting it in the shower outside the shower as we shower, and then like spraying it with Downy, which he does. I don't really do. So yeah, I'm not buying an iron to iron paper. But I love you for that suggestion. And for everybody else that has an iron, go for it. I don't have a blow dryer. I do not have an iron. What could I warm something up with? The oven. That probably doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't even know how to preheat the oven. The microwave. A pot of water. The shower. That's what I got. Those are the hot things I have. Okay, I love you all. Thank you for hanging out with me for almost 3 hours. Will I get through like a third of folding this paper? Tomorrow this will go quicker because I'm going to pretend it's tomorrow, but it might be in 3 days. I'll just put on, quantum mechanics or something like that, or books it is. Books, yes, that's where I was going with that. Books. I have a lot of books. And our community has library. My mom's community has the library. We have a library right, you have to go on the highway. It is a giant library, and they are expanding the library. So I have books galore. And when I was at my sister's last month for my kind of birthday, it was a little bit before my birthday, her and my sister, my brother's fiance, so my sister-in-law to be, my sister's sister-in-law, we call each other the sisters. We play Wordle every day, we back and forth. We all met for the first time. They all live in the same area, but like I don't anymore. We all got together at Barnes and Nobles, and my mom had given me a $50 gift card. And we walked around the store for about 3 hours, and I bought 2 books. One is Jodi Picoult, and I know you don't pronounce her last name Picoult because she's on TikTok and she says it some other way, but I can't remember the other way. Her newest book, I really liked Mad Honey, which was her last newest book. It was like 2024. This one came out maybe 2024, 2025. Couldn't tell you the title of it. I don't know. I read it in like a day and then shipped it off to my brother's fiance. And now I'm reading through some of the banned books. And I have about 10 books to get through, which could potentially take me 3 days or 25 months. Because if I start reading a really good book, I will neglect other things in my life. And I can't do that. So, so books it will be. Mad Honey. Yes, right. That was such a good book. Good night, MC. Emmy. Good night. Mad Honey was a good book. Have you read her new book? The story goes back and forth in time from like the 1500s to now. And essentially it's loosely based on Shakespeare. A woman in the 1500s is like really into English, and you see her struggles of what a woman in the 1500s, who did have a little bit but not a ton, um, get into loving English and falling in love with playwriting and falling in love with editing plays. And then it jumps to today, which might have been like last year. And this person is like searching genealogy, and the stories intermix, and like every other chapter was almost like different, but it was so good. I would say give it at least 58 pages until you put it down, because the first 58 pages you're like trying to figure out the story and the plot line, and then it gets amazing, as does all of her books to me. But Mad Honey was especially, if I could go back and erase my memory and read that book over and over and over, I would, because that was just one of those books for me. Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult. Yeah, it was a really good one. This one was it was really good. I mean, everything by her I thought was pretty amazing, and some of it has been made into movies. If you're like, I don't know who that author is, My Sister's Keeper, or The Sister's Keeper, was made into a movie about a family who had a child with needs, so they go ahead and have a second child with kind of like similar DNA, similar blood type kind of thing. They like choose the embryo. And so the younger daughter grows up knowing that part of her kidneys, part of her liver, part of her blah, blah, blah are going to be given to her older sister. And then she tries to get emancipated, and I won't spoil the ending of the book, but Jodi, I said Picoult, it can't be Picoult, I don't know, always writes really well, and then there's a twist of some kind. Mad Honey was written by 2 female authors, and they each take a chapter, and you do learn about bees, but that's not like the overall. I don't want to spoil it. So it's about a boy who falls in love with a girl, and intertwined, and it's one of my better books I've read fictionally, that didn't have too much trauma, violence. There was a little bit of, it's not really. It was an easy read, but at the same time, I think what it does is the judgments that we all have in us, whether it's from nurture or nature, it kind of makes you think through like why you believe the things you do, and it shows you the different perspectives, like truly lots of different perspectives from different characters in different walks of life, and you're like, oh yeah, like it's not just the world revolves around me, it's 8 billion people almost are living in this world in their own brains. So like it really challenges you. Again, an easier read. Some of the books I read, I'm like, whoa, this was an easier read, but it does kind of challenge you. So there you go. That's the end of that reading portion. So anyway, my sister's group does Wordle, and we read books together, and like we did an Advent book in December, and we're all reading. I would love to tell you, it's a TV show. They wear red. The women are wearing red capes. Somebody's got to know what I'm talking about. I haven't started the book yet, but the book is slightly different than but it's a banned book. So that's my next book. And I can't read it until at least this weekend, possibly longer. So, but I've had it since January. I have read like 5 or 6 books since January, but this one I know is going to resemble real life very closely. and real life is already at a point where I feel like, what can I do? And there are things we can do, but I need to be in the right headspace for that. Yes, it's the Handmaid's Tale. Yes, that's exactly what it. And one of my doctors was like, "Have you read the blah blah blah? It's coming out." It's like the Mars mission. It wasn't the Mars mission. I forget what it's called. I remember none of the titles, none of the movie titles, none of the actors or authors. It's very rare. It's like, I don't know, Mars something, and it was a 3-series trilogy. My doctor was like, "Oh yeah, you love reading. Why don't you read this?" And I was like, it was December, and I was like, "I'm already reading 3 different books. I can't read more books," but I did read more books. And do you think that doctor asked me at all about the books? No, but they were really good books. They just weren't really something. They were male written, and I don't always read male author books. I would probably prefer books written by females with a female perspective, where females are talking about anything except for men all of the time. Like, we have enough of that. So anyway, goodbye. I love you all so much. Thank you for taking the time to spend your night with me, and all 16 of you. I hope you sleep well, except for Sue, who it is now midday. Morning? I don't know. Sue, you can take a nap though. I love you. I'll talk to you soon, and I do lives probably once a month at this point. I did try to give you hugs, a heads up, very small heads up, on Instagram and on YouTube. I thought I was going to be doing this yesterday, and then Bears Gate got canceled because the retirement community had the flu outbreak. And as somebody who has run retirement communities, neuroviruses aren't very far sometimes behind the flu, and you have to contact the CDC, and it's this whole big thing, and they didn't want him sick, and then my immune system and his immune system, so they just canceled. So this got now pushed off to 2:30 p.m. Okay, Sue, you're allowed to stay awake. Everybody else is too. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay, take care. Bye. Love you. And now I'm going to pretend I know how to turn this off, and now I'm going to have to take this off. It's still live. This is what this looks like, by the way. In my giant room of nothingness. Maybe I could turn you around. Yep. That was that. All of that furniture came in from other rooms, except for these 2 pieces were just in there. And this is a really big room. What do I? We already have a living room. We have a dining room. This is usually nothing room. This is usually where we put the pink table and chairs, which are over here. Don't know what to do with that room. Anyway, good night. Let's see if I can turn it off, and then we will be done. Goodbye.